Viewers, let's ask this fundamental question. I want to first begin with the Bharatiya Janata Party's national spokesperson. Let her state her case. Why does she disagree with Mr. Owaisi? Aside from the hard facts, viewers, that I have presented to you, what does the BJP have to say? Let me bring in Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma,
thank you.
What's your response?
Thank you, Rahul. And the first show of the year on your show. So, very happy New Year to your viewers.
To you too, ma'am.
Thank you. And to you and your panelists as well. I will quickly come to the crux of the discussion. I think the notable point mentioned by you was that famous or infamous, as you will, a 1989 Parliamentary resolution which vaulted BJP to the center stage. But a lot of water has flown down the bridge since 1989. Today is 2023, and this is the new BJP, new India under Narendra Modi, where we walk the talk in terms of secularism. That said, we don't feel apologetic about proudly wearing our Hindutva on our sleeves. That is as brazenly and blatantly as I can put it. But I just have this to say to Asaduddin Owaisi. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rahul. This is a politician who's a 5-time member of parliament from Hyderabad. Over the years that I've been debating and with IMIN panelists on various debates, I have never ever seen the IMIN panelists or Mr. Owaisi or his brother Akbaruddin Owaisi ever talk about a single development-oriented work that the Owaisis or the IMIN has done for Hyderabad. Point number one. Point number two, he says कि हमको ताकतवर बनना है, हमको और मजबूती से आगे बढ़ना है, हमें यदि हम ताकतवर नहीं रहे तो ये हमें बर्बाद कर देंगे. And he also very subtly tries to say that हमें अपने we have to multiply in terms of numbers. There's a very subtle hint about how population explosion can work wonders for the IMIN. But be that as it may, I just want to ask Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, 3.9 crore Muslim students given scholarships under Narendra Modi's government in his first term, 5 crore plus scholarships given to Muslim children, particularly in the second term of Narendra Modi, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, more than 33% disbursed to Muslims, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, more than 37% given to Muslims, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, more than 31% given to Muslims, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, more than 32% given to Muslims, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, more than 33% given to Muslims, Naya Savera, Nai Udan, Nai Manzil. These are schemes totally catering to only one community, Muslims. And remember one thing, we are a 140 crore strong nation. We have about 20 to 22 crore Muslims, which means we have about 14 to 15.5% of the population which is Muslims. Now, how many Christians do we have? We have about 2.8 crore Christians, which means Christians are barely about 1.98% of India's population. How many Sikhs do we have? About 2 crore Sikhs, which means, Rahul, we have barely 1.42% of India's population, which is the Sikh community. How many Jains do we have? About 40 to 45 lakh, which means 0.32% of the population. And how many Parsis do we have? Merely a handful, 57,000, which means 0.004% of the population. So actually, if there is a community which is in minorities, it is either the Parsis or the Christians or the Sikhs, none of whom have more than 2% representation. Here, Muslims are the second largest in terms of numbers at 14 or 15% of the overall population. We have more than 6 lakh mosques and masjids. We are either the second or the third largest country in terms of our sheer Muslim population. We have specific schemes which cater to the Muslim population, and we have Article 29, Article 30, Article 26, which gives special linguistic, cultural, educational and religious rights to minorities. And you still have the audacity, the brazenness, the gumption, Mr. Owaisi, to say that Muslims are being marginalized and BJP wants to turn this into a Hindutva state. Arre bhai, 80% we are Hindus. So we are a Hindu state in more ways than one. May not be technically, in the strictest sense of the term, but in layman's language, of course, we are a Hindu nation. Why shy away from it?
Yeah, because we are a Hindu nation, not a state. Technically, a state would obviously mean that, the primacy of one religion would be instituted through the constitution. So, in that sense, she is right. The BJP national spokesperson. Let me bring in the AMM leader. Let me just run you through some things, Mr. Hassan. Yes, Mr. Owaisi has played the victim card here, but let me just run you through a few facts. Under Mr. Modi, there were 3 attempts at mediation on Ayodhya Ram Janambhoomi issue. Let's not forget that. They were led also by Dr. Subramanian Swamy, who in fact believes that the BJP has not gone far enough to give rights to Muslims. Under Modi, BJP waited for a Supreme Court verdict on Ayodhya. When Dr. Swamy, who was also leading one of the mediations, wanted the government to just pass an order, which could have easily been done. Under Modi, Places of Worship Act is not being struck down, even though there are many who want it to be struck down. Under Modi, consultative process to adopt the UCC is ongoing. It's a transparent process, sir. Under Modi, minorities are getting a lion's share of state resources. I think the BJP national spokesperson has elaborated on that point. Under Modi, no order by the state to undo moves to reclaim puja rights at Kashi. It's also being arbitrated by the courts. Under Modi, tickets to Muslims, Christians, Sikhs and other minorities are given regularly. So Adil Hassan, I want to ask you, sir. I want to ask you. You have no faith in the Supreme Court?
राहुल भाई, मैडम ने कहा जो बहुत मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है.
No, please answer. No, just one second. You have no faith. I'm just making a very answer my question. Pointed question I've asked you, Hassan bhai. मैं कभी आपको घुमाऊंगा नहीं. I will ask you the direct question. You have no faith in the Supreme Court or the Indian state? Simple question.
राहुल भाई, सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे पूरा भरोसा है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट को मानते हैं. हम इनकी तरह अमित शाह साहब बताएं कि सबरमला मंदिर का जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट है वो कब इंप्लीमेंट होगा. आजाद भारत में पहली बार एक भी मुसलमान एमपी नहीं है बीजेपी से, एक भी मिनिस्टर नहीं है. बताएं मोदी जी कब देंगे. 40% माइनॉरिटी बजट घट गया मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स का. एएमयू किशनगंज को पिछले 10 साल में 1 रुपया नहीं मिला. मदरसा मॉडर्नाइजेशन के नाम पर उत्तर प्रदेश में 2017 से 1 रुपया नहीं मिला है. एएमयू और जामिया का बजट घट गया है. बताएं मोदी जी कब देंगे. मुसलमानों को हिस्सेदारी कब देंगे. सीमांचल में सुरजापुरी बिरादरी का रिजर्वेशन है जो दिल्ली में अटका हुआ आज तक अभी तक नहीं हुआ है. मॉब लिंचिंग पहलू खान अखलाक के घर में मोदी जी कब जाएंगे. तबरेज अंसारी क्या मोदी जी कब जाएंगे. जरा बतला दे मोदी जी कि कब जाएंगे. जरा
नहीं, क्या मोदी जी पुजारी क्या मोदी जी मिस्टर पुजारी के घर गए थे.
और मोदी जी
जिनका क्या मोदी जी पुजारी के घर गए थे. मिस्टर पुजारी के घर जो कर्नाटका में मारे गए, क्या वो गए थे. नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं. नहीं, आपको बहुत दर्द हो रहा है. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, जिन लोगों ने एक टेलर का बिहेडिंग किया, उनके घर गए मोदी जी. आपसे मैं पूछ रहा हूं. Viewers, in this country, you can march down streets calling for the beheading of anyone that disagrees on a doctrinal point. You can do all sorts of other things. No, Mr. Hassan, I'm asking you a question. You're giving me a whole narration. I asked you a specific question and you answered it by saying that you believe in the Supreme Court. Then why does Mr. Owaisi say, listen to this question. Don't you see that a conspiracy is taking place regarding the 3 or 4 more mosques? He's talking about Gyanvapi, he's talking about Mathura Masjid, he's also talking about, most importantly, Suneri Bagh. These matters are in the courts. If you believe in the Supreme Court, where is the conspiracy? Is the Supreme Court conspiring?
सुप्रीम कोर्ट आजाद भारत में पहली बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट के 4 जज निकलकर मोदी जी के खिलाफ बोला. आजाद भारत में पहली बार मणिपुर में कल 4
भाई साहब, उनमें से एक जो जस्टिस है राज्यसभा में बैठे हैं, बीजेपी ने स्पॉन्सर किया, उनको सपोर्ट किया। आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? तरुण गोगोई, सॉरी जस्टिस गोगोई, जो तरुण गोगोई के भाई हैं, जो कांग्रेस के पुराने चीफ मिनिस्टर के भाई हैं, वो आज राज्यसभा में बैठे हैं। आप बात क्या कर रहे हैं? Mr. Hassan, you have not been able to give me one convincing response. You can be rhetorical on this show. This show is about hard facts. Let me bring in, one second, one quick.
Point of one. Will be implemented. I am categorically asking.
Sir,
कब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट इंप्लीमेंट होगा, बीजेपी बताए।
Sir, please.
जो कन्हैया लाल का नाम बार-बार लिया गया, मोदी जी ने राजस्थान में लिया, बिना चुनाव के वो जी नहीं पाते, हर दिन कन्हैया लाल का उन्होंने नाम लिया।
Sir, please. Viewers, let me just come in here. This gentleman is not going to adhere to the rule of basic debate. Let me tell you, viewers, I am not sitting here, one second, condoning any act of supremacism, whether it's on the Hindu side or the Muslim side. They're all condemnable for me. Just like Nupur Sharma has been put into what is the proverbial doghouse because of untrammeled hate and the resistance to follow due process. We are seeing Mr. Owaisi also coming out resisting any attempts at legitimizing due process. These matters, whether it is Ayodhya, whether it is Kashi, whether it is Mathura, are all being arbitrated not by Rahul Shiv Shankar, not by Modi, not by Amit Shah, not by the BJP spokesperson here on this show, Ms. Sanju Verma. It is being arbitrated by the Supreme Court. If you stop believing in the Supreme Court, if you don't believe in the Indian state, then viewers, there's a problem. Then what are you? You're a separatist.